All right, it is time, so we'll go ahead and get started. But hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Alertus Power Lunch, Alertus Operator Activator Training. My name is Sarah, and I'm a trainer here at Alertus. I'm also joined by Brooke, who is another trainer who will be leading the session today. But this session will equip you with the knowledge and skills needed to effectively utilize the activation methods within the Alertus console, enabling your team to manage and activate alerts quickly and efficiently in any situation. We will also review the available reports and discuss some best practices for system management and troubleshooting. So this is an interactive session, so please feel free to ask any questions using the Q&A feature. We'll definitely save some time for questions at the end as well. And please be aware that this session is being recorded for training purposes. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So I'll pass it over to you, Brooke.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sarah. And I will start right away with sharing my screen. We're going to live in the console today. So when you log into your console, you will be greeted with our homepage and then our navigation bar on the left. For this session, we're going to go through all of the 4 types of activations and the reports, like Sarah said. So starting up at the top, we'll start with rapid activation. So rapid activation allows you to customize the actual message going out, but not the settings that are part of it. So here I'm able to pull in something from my message templates, or I can type directly in this box. I'll pull one in for an fire evacuation. I can type in here directly. And it can add anything there. There's a variable here as well that will add the date and time that I send this out. So this message itself is editable and customizable, but the settings are not. So this will always always send for 5 minutes. It will always go at the highest priority. It will get sent to everyone, and it will use the emergency alert profile. If I have any administrators on the call, you are able to edit these things in the settings page or in the alert profile page. So if I come down here to alert profiles, what this emergency alert profile means is that it's pulling in these specific endpoints and alert services. So it will target my alert beacons, my digital signage, my text-to-speech, my VoIP phones, my mobile, and my desktop. And you can edit this as an administrator and just pull in whatever you want. So if I wanted to instead pull in a different kind of desktop, I could pull in the red with buzzer, whatever one that I wanted to have here, I could pull that in here. In addition, there's another place called settings that you can go, and this will allow you to change the priority and change the duration for rapid activation. But once again, that doesn't live in rapid. These are standard right here. So everyone else who's not an administrator would not be able to change any of these things. They would just be able to change the custom message. So this is great when there is something that needs to go out to everyone very quickly, and there's not a preset available. Which brings us to our next one, preset. I'm actually going to skip that one, come back to it, because that's how I'm going to send my alert out. But the next one I'm going to look at is custom activation. So with custom activation, this allows you to fully customize your alert. So here, you can come here, you can once again pull in any message text you want. You can type your message directly in here. So I'll pull in a system test just to show you here. Also, because mostly custom activations are great for testing and great for non-emergency situations, because it does take a little bit to build this out. So here we are going to build our text. I can change the duration. So I want it to go for 10 minutes. I can also schedule this to go in the future. So if I know that there's a scheduled outage or an announcement I want to set up, I can send this out to go at a certain time. And if I'm an administrator, I can also schedule it to repeat. So if I want to set up a test to go every first Monday of the month, then I can come here to repeat and go to every month. And then I can say on the first Monday of every month. The next part will be our delivery method. So you could pull in an alert profile, which once again will pull in all of those different alert services, or you can pull in the alert services individually. So I'll pull in my alert beacon, I'll pull in one of my desktops, which once again will pull in the desktop, but with different behavior. So this one will be a pop-up text instead of a full screen takeover. I could pull in a VoIP phone for a test, and I can pull in a text-to-speech as well, whatever one you want. And then with your native Alertus products, you'll also be able to set the settings here. So right now my alert beacon is set to go at low for 2 minutes. But if I wanted it to go at max for the first 30 seconds of this alert, and then for the rest of the alert, for the 9 minutes and 30 seconds left, it will go at low every 5 seconds with this tone and this blink. We can come here and change all these settings here. Same with the text-to-speech speaker. You can come here and change all these settings, make sure it's doing what you want it to do. And so now I have my alert services set up. And the next thing would be, the last thing would be to choose my recipients. So I could send this to go to everyone, which means it would go to all my alert beacons, all of my desktops, all of my VoIP phones, and all of my text-to-speech. If I also have digital signage, it wouldn't go to that because I didn't pull in digital signage here. So I'd have to have it in both sections for the all to work for everything. But I could also use groups. So groups, I could pull in a group that I've made. So if I just want to target one building with a specific test, I could do that. Or 2 different buildings, I could do that. And then lastly is units. So units will allow you to pull in individual pieces of hardware. So if I just want to target my desktop and this one specific alert beacon, then I can do so. I didn't pull in any text-to-speech speakers, so even though it's up here, it wouldn't activate that. So they have to be in both spots in order to be activated. So this is how you build out a custom activation. If I've built something that I do want to save and revisit, I could always click this Save as New Preset Alert if I'm an administrator. But if I just want to send it one time, I would click Continue. I would get to review everything that it's going to do, and then I would send it out. The next one that we're going to look at is desktop activation. So desktop activation is even one step further customizable. So this is going to only be applicable to those who have Alertus desktop. But when you come in here, once again, you can add the message. You can change the duration. I want this to go for 2 minutes. Oops, I'm going up. 2 minutes. Schedule it to go in the future or not. And then for the desktop itself, I can edit this live. So here I can pull in a pop-up, which would then be able to have these different templates you can use. I could do a ticker, which would just be the top or bottom of my screen. I could do the full screen classic takeover here. And then underneath all of those is the ability to change the settings. So here right now it's blinking red, but if I wanted it to blink blue, I could come over here. And now we're blinking blue. If I wanted to go back to a pop-up and I could choose this, I can come here, I can change the background color. Now it's green. So there are all sorts of ways you can edit this, change the font, change the colors. You can also put in audio. So if you want it to be text to speech, or if you want it to have a buzz or a tone, you have all of these default tones to choose from. So you could really make this, like I said, as customizable as you want for what the desktop is going to look like. The next parts are exactly the same as the custom activation. So with the alert service, you can pull in other alert services as well. If I want to target my alert beacons and my text-to-speech. As you can see, I don't have any desktop options, but that's because we're going to be using this desktop. So the one that you make up here will be what we target for desktop. And then lastly, of course, is the groups or the units or sending it to everyone. So if I click continue, oops, I didn't select an audio file down here. So let me come here, select an audio file. We'll do this one, apply, repeat once, repeat, delay 1 second. Okay. So now if I come here, I'm able to see once again the message, who it's going to go to, the total devices in that I targeted, but also the only ones that are online right now. I am working from home today, so only my desktop is online, but I'm able to get a good review before I click send and send it out. Once again, desktop activation is great for tests, great for planned outages, just like custom activation. But in emergency situations, where you really want to live is presets. So preset activation is going to basically send out a saved custom activation. So you can come here. I've added these to my quick access menu, which you can do in the preset alert section. So if you give these a star over here on the side, then you are able to add them to your quick access menu. So now I'll have 5 of them. You also have this drop down menu for your presets. So this has the starred ones at the top, and then all the ones that you've ever created here as well. I can also type directly in here, and then that will pull up the ones that I see. So if I select one, there's a fire in one of my buildings. I want to make sure that people will evacuate in that building, and I click continue. Everything's already there for me. So all I have to do is press this one button, click continue. I see that we are targeting the message I want, the duration I want, the building I want, the alert services I want, and I click send. And once this sends, I'm able to see that I have an active alert at the bottom of my screen. And then also any second now, it'll pop to my computer.
Effect due to a fire in building 1. Please evacuate immediately.
I can click acknowledge, which will remove it from my individual computer. I'm also able to come down here as an administrator and see that I have an active alert, and then I can cancel it as well. So I'll go cancel this alert because it's just a test. But those are the ways to activate. Preset, quickest route you want to go, especially in those emergency situations. If you don't have a preset saved, but it's an emergency, I recommend rapid activation because you need to get something out quickly to everyone. And then custom and desktop are there to help you with any system tests or scheduled outages, or to build any other presets that you want potentially as well. All right. Of course, please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A or chat box, but I'm going to move on to reports. So I just sent out that preset alert for fire in building 1. I can see that in my alert history report. So with my alert history report right here, I'm able to see the number it sent out. I will see the 40 most recent alerts sent by the system. This is the one that I just sent. If I click the message text that I just saw and sent out, I am able to open up even more information. So who did it go to? How long was it set for? How long did it actually go to? Was it canceled? Who sent it? Who canceled it? So there's a ton of information here about the alert itself. Also the date and time it was sent, and the alert services it was sent to. And then there are also 3 reports attached to this alert. So with the alert device activations report, I'll pull this up. And as you can see here, the top of the report basically shows the same information when I opened up the message in the alert history tab: who sent it, how long did it go for, who to go to, if it was canceled, who canceled it, etc. But as I scroll down, I'm able to see more information around what was actually activated. So I can see that my alert beacon was offline, my text-to-speech was offline, but my desktop was online, and so it was activated in less than 10 seconds. I'm able to have a chart of that as well. And then if I scroll down to the bottom, I'm able to see the individual hardware information. So I can see that my desktop went off at 8 seconds. And you can also sort this if you want to see what was online, offline, certain device names, etc. So this is a great way to come in and check and see what your alert actually did, who it actually went to, and how long it took to get there. The next report attached is the device acknowledgements report. So if you recall, on the alert on my desktop, there's this green acknowledge button right here. So right here, I'm able to see who actually pressed that button. So the report's going to look similar to activations. It'll have the information at the top and then this chart. But instead of showing when it was activated, it's going to show if and when it was acknowledged, when someone pressed that green button. So right here, I did acknowledge it on my desktop, as you can see, and you can see that I did it at 19 seconds. So that is when I pressed that green acknowledgement button. So you can see who's actually engaging with your alerts as well. The last one is going to be our user recipients. So if you're utilizing LDAP and Active Directory, then you will have computers come up that will look like this. So instead of showing the device name, it'll show who's logged in. So my name is Brooke Petrozelli. I'm logged into this computer. It was activated at 8 seconds and it was acknowledged at 19 seconds. This bottom one is for mobiles. It did activate. I just didn't view it on my phone yet. And also we're moving to AlertAware. So this is going to look a lot different for your reporting here. So all you have to worry about is this top line at the top. These 3 reports also do exist over here: device acknowledgements, device activations, and alert recipients. But you do need to know the alert ID number. So if you come over here, you'll have to know what number you're targeting. So I do find it easier to go through the alert history page instead. But those are there and are helpful if you do need them. The next report is the device status report. So this will also open up a new tab, and in it, you're going to get a live snapshot into all of your pieces of hardware and what's online, offline, or inactive. Right now, I only have ones that are online or offline. So you can see that with my desktop, I have this, my current one is online. I have a ton more information about it if I scroll over. When did I last check in? What are my IP addresses? What is my logged in user? What's my BSS ID, etc., computer name? So I can see all of this information for my online devices. As you can see, these 5 devices have not checked in since the last restart, which is why they're showing up as offline. And my last restart was this morning because I have a local server that lives on my desktop. So these haven't checked in since this morning. But you are able to see when's the last time they did right here. So I have some that checked in this month, one that hasn't checked in since June. So you can see when they last checked in as well. The third one that we don't see is inactive. That will come up as yellow. That means it has checked in since the last restart, but it hasn't checked in the last 10 minutes. So if they are showing up as yellow, you'll be able to see some more information, but it will not be active. It will be inactive. Our pieces of hardware are set to ping the Alertus server every 3 to 15 seconds. So hopefully you'll be seeing time since last check-in is 0 minutes, but if it does ever go higher, you'll be able to check that here and see what devices are active, offline, inactive, live. And you can also press this refresh button to get another live snapshot. You can add and remove columns if you want to see different things in this report. And then you also can export it as a CSV file and use the search bar here as well, if you want to use that to find specific pieces of hardware. All right. So all of those reports are attached to the alert history report. These next ones are separate. So the membership reports, most people use groups as their way to send out different alerts to different people. So in here, this is not where you manage groups or edit groups, but this is a spot where you can go to look and check on your groups. So this is an easy place for you to go and see, okay, who is in what group? Who is, oh, there's no devices in that group, I should probably check on that, who's in this group, etc. And then there's another report that's really helpful at the top, view alert devices not assigned to any groups. So if you are utilizing groups and you want everything to be in a group, because you have certain buildings or you have certain roles, you can come up here and be like, oh my goodness, there are 2 pieces of hardware that are not in a group. I should go and either add these to a group or check my device assignment rules and make sure that things are working the way they're supposed to. So I got to figure out what building this alert beacon belongs to, and same with this desktop as well. The location memberships group is similar. If you're using locations instead of groups, you can come here and see who's in what location and then view alerts not assigned to locations. And then mobile memberships, we don't have to worry about too much because you are all moving to Alert Aware if you have our mobile, but this is a spot where you can go and see your recipient app information. The next report is system activity. So this is going to give you some information on the actual console itself. So this, you're able to see who is activating from here, who is logging in, who is changing things in the system, who's configuring things, if there are any errors, if there's any messages, etc. So you can come here and check and make sure that like people aren't changing things when they're not supposed to, people are logging in when they are supposed to. You can also sort by date and certain levels of things as well, but this is just a good way to keep an eye on your console itself. The last 2 reports are specific to VoIP users. So this is where you'd be able to go and see your devices that are attached to our VoIP system and integrated with Alertus. So Cisco, Avaya, etc. You go here and check and make sure that your devices are here and online. And then with the activations, you won't see them on the activation device activations report, but you could come here, look up the certain alert ID. I did not send out a VoIP activation this time, but if I did, I would be able to find that information here as well. And those are all the reports. Yeah, so I know I just covered a ton with all 4 types of activations and all of the reports here as well. As I said, please feel free to put things in the chat and in the Q&A box, but I also wanted to show you our customer portal where you can go to get more information. So if you come down here to support, you will find our support section. So if you ever did need to submit a case to our tech team, you can come to this link and say, one of my devices isn't working the way it's supposed to, or I'm having an issue with this specific piece of hardware. So you can submit a case that way or call our numbers. But then we also have this resource called Customer Portal. So if I open up the Customer Portal, it will bring me to another section. I will have to log in. These credentials are different than your console credentials. So if you do ever need to reset your password, feel free to click this button or reach out to us or your account manager. But on this page, you'll be able to see the webinars we have coming up. This is the one you are all at right now. So this will be updated soon, so you can see the ones coming up in January, or you can click it and see all of the ones here. But when you log in, you'll be greeted with a ton of resources and information. So once again, you can submit a tech ticket right here. Come here. You would give these a call at a certain time. You can see where you can submit your ticket, upload files. You also will be able to keep an eye on your cases, see if they are being answered, moved along, etc. You're also able to see more information about your account, get some software downloads if you need them. And then there's some tabs at the top. So if you ever do want to get a training by me or Sarah and our training team, you can come here and request a training. We can watch some how-to videos. You can look over here at system configuration guides, etc. And then underneath, there's a ton more information in our knowledge base. So if you want to learn more about setting your first test alert or anything about VoIP or the alert beacon, we can come down here and look at the different types of activations that I covered or the different reports that I covered. And you can also use this search bar as well. So if I come up here and I type in alert history report and click enter, then I will have all of these different resources pop up, and I'm able to go into the one that I want. And I have these user guides that will give me screenshots and give me access and information around what is being shown in these reports. So this is really helpful and a great resource for you all. If you do not have access, like I said, please feel free to reach out to us and we can grant you that as well. But that is all that I have for you today. We'll stay on the line for a few more minutes. If there's any questions in the chat or Q&A, please feel free to put those in, and I'll throw it back over to Sarah.
Awesome. Great job, Brooke. And it looks like we don't have any questions yet, but definitely feel free to pop them in if you do have any. And thank you all for attending. I hope you have a great weekend and a great new year. And hopefully you'll be back to check out some future power lunches.
Absolutely. And we have our next power lunch coming up is all about groups on Friday. So next Friday. So hopefully see you there.